America.
So you've seen the political ads,
I'm running it.
you've heard the political debates.
I'm running it.
Now it's time for you to make a political choice and decide who our next president will be. Now, if you don't know what's going on, you can't make an educated decision. And I know, it's a lot to absorb. So we are going to try to give you some key points on some key issues. Enjoy.
In this country, they don't want us to have that because it's a certain people that they don't want to have that. See, the other people who have health, they're not complaining about health insurance because they got it. Healthcare, universal healthcare.
You have to make a choice whether you get health care or have an apartment to live in.
Right.
You know, you don't have enough health care, it's too high. Right. That's the problem. Health care is too high.
That is the issue of health care. I'm not the first president to take up this cause, but I am determined to be the last.
For America, we're this world leader, and out of the 33 developed countries, only 32 had health insurance. Who was missing? The United States, and that's pretty pathetic.
I think it's a model for many other nations, and I'm actually just shocked that America is like one of the premier #1 first world nations is taking so long to provide health care.
I'm a mental health counselor, and the patients that I work with are poor, disenfranchised, and there are no resources available to them. So it is very important to me that we have somebody in office who's going to take a look at this population of people who are sick and they need help.
I used to work in the pharmacy, and it would really just break my heart when, you would have a mother come in and she's like, oh, well, I'm only gonna get 30 of his pills or 15 of his pills because I can't afford the other 15, and maybe I'll be able to come up later and get the rest of my child's medication. Like, that's not cool.
I believe it's because the insurance companies want money, so they're controlling. Pharmaceuticals want to make money. So all these people are in it together, and it's not even necessarily like the doctors. They're sort of like a victim, some of them, because they're not getting paid what they really want to by the insurance companies. I think it all has to do with money.
We are not a nation that does what's easy. That's not who we are. That's not how we got here. We are a nation that faces its challenges and accepts its responsibilities. We are a nation that does what is hard, what is necessary, what is right. Here in this country, we shape our own destiny. That is what we do. That is who we are. That is what makes us the United States of America. And we have now just enshrined, as soon as I sign this bill, the core principle that everybody should have some basic security when it comes to their health care.
And in third world countries or wherever they offer this universal health care, I think they're getting taxed, or how does that work? I think they're getting taxed, and then that goes into the fund.
Exactly. They get taxed more.
I would rather have my money. Yeah. I would rather have my tax money go to that than to the defense fund.
Right.
On March 23rd, 2010, President Barack Obama signed the Affordable Health Care Act.
Nothing in this plan will require you or your employer to change the coverage of the doctor you have.
And I'm tired of people saying things like, well, I don't want the government telling me what health care I can get. The Affordable Health Care Act has actually made that situation better for you. If you want to stay on your private plan, you can go ahead and do that. It's keeping them honest and making your insurance better. And for those of us who can't afford the private insurance, we have the option to have, the government insurance. And I'm down for it. I need it. I know tons of people who need it. 2014, most of them will kick in, and it's just going to be a great blessing to a lot of people I know who are struggling without the health care that they need or can't get insurance because of a pre-existing condition. So, bravo.
I've insisted that, like any private insurance company, the public insurance option would have to be self-sufficient and rely on the premiums it collects. But by avoiding some of the overhead that gets eaten up at private companies by profits, excessive administrative costs, and executive salaries, it could provide a good deal for consumers. It would also keep pressure on private insurers to keep their policies affordable and treat their customers better.
You banging on healthcare, nigga? Why y'all banging on health? Like, why are we fighting over healthcare? It seems like air.
Something as vital as healthcare. It kind of bothers me that, you know, Romney and Ryan, they say on day one, they will get rid of Obamacare, as they call it. All right, here's the facts. The Ryan Romney plan would get rid of traditional Medicare, and then it would put in a system of cash vouchers, of which if you're a senior age 65 or older, you use these cash vouchers to purchase private health care insurance. Sure, it might save the government some money, but the reality is it would shift a large health care cost onto seniors. Right now, under Medicare, most seniors pay about $6,000 out of pocket. With the voucher plan, seniors will have to pay $12,000 out of pocket for his or her health care. Now these costs will continue to rise because the value of the voucher will gradually shrink as the years go by. If you're not 65 and older, well, you just have to fend for yourself.
I am very proud of the LGBT community right now because they are like making strides with, you know, with the same-sex marriages deal. I have some dear friends of mine who have been a couple for 20 years. 20 years in this lifestyle is like 75 years. And, you know, just to be able to see them have the opportunity to go and get married and have that union, that is so great. So I am really proud of the strides that we are taking as an LGBT community to do those things. I really think things are about to really change. I think that people are going to get more comfortable, and I think that we're going to be major players on the political scene, in television, everywhere. So I think that, you know, we keep up the work that we're doing and we keep pushing and not making it seem like the lifestyle is like second class. That, you know, at the end of the day, there's so many more layers to than just being lesbian, gay, bi, transgender people that, you know, we're going to do great things.
In 2012, after Vice President Joe Biden made comments in favor of gay marriage, President Obama then followed suit and announced his support of gay marriage and marriage equality.
Americans should be treated fairly and equal. I've stood on the side of broader equality for the LGBT community. But I have to tell you that over the course of several years, as I talk to friends and family and neighbors, when I think about members of my own staff who are incredibly committed monogamous relationships, same-sex relationships, who are raising kids together. At a certain point, I've just concluded that for me personally, it is important for me to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married.
After making this announcement and becoming the first president in history to endorse gay marriage, unfortunately, Obama received a large amount of backlash from the urban and Black communities, even prompting some church pastors to join forces in asking their congregations to take back their vote from Obama. But the great thing that this announcement also did was it made the Black community and urban community take a look at itself. And for the first time, you have our community standing up and basically having our back. You have world leaders like Al Sharpton, Colin Powell. You have celebrities, pop celebrities like Beyonce, Tyra Banks, other people coming forward. And even more interesting, in the hip hop community, rappers basically stepped away from that anti-gayness of hip hop music and said, you know what, we support the president and we support the right to marriage.
You know what I'm saying? Gay marriage, it's all about that. Everybody keep pushing, love who you want to love no matter what. And I'm all about that. I'm all about everybody being able to do you and love who you want to love, and shouldn't nobody stop that.
I'm Canadian, but I do follow American politics to the T. In Canada, you can get married across the whole country, but in America you can't. And I feel like if Romney were to come in, then that would just be the end of like a lot more states, you know, being progressive, coming towards an equal marriage point of view. It hurts me to be able to have this kind of privilege as a Canadian and then come here and, you know, a lot of like my friends, people who I'm close to, don't have the same kind of rights as me, and you know, like what's the big difference just because we're across the border.
The Netherlands, Canada, Spain, Sweden, Portugal, and South Africa all recognize gay marriage. Countless American organizations work tirelessly to make this happen for us.
When a man and woman choose to get married, a man will propose. I just want to have that point, just that the option. That's it. It's the option. That's all I want is the option. So with my husband, I love him very much. My boyfriend, when he gets ready for, either I'm gonna propose to him or he's close to me. That's the best thing. With two guys, you can win.
You know, I'm very liberal, and I feel like everyone should live as they want to live. No rules, no laws. I mean, of course we have some laws and everything, but they're trying to limit us from being who we are, from loving, from caring, from being the beings that we were made to be. Right. So I'm all for, like they said, go vote, equal rights, women's rights, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgendered rights. What the fuck? What's it hurt?
And the same-sex marriage with the Republican Party, you are not going to stop us from getting married.
I hear that. We've reached our last issue, and that is the economy. It is one of the most important issues, one of the most complicated issues. So we are going to try our best to kind of give it to you in a nutshell.
Obama got a raw deal. You know, he took over homeboy's shit.
Oh, let's start with the Great Recession.
In the thick of our economic downturn, he fought that out.
Obama wrote into law the stimulus package they've been working on prior to his arrival as well. And it passed in Congress a month earlier. Not much help from the Republicans, but it still passed, so yay. Though there have been many critics, economists say that the stimulus package actually helped and softened the blow of our recession.
We need the rich to get their tax breaks so they can hire some people and start investing.
In the beginning of 2009, jobs were dropping like flies. But in the last 31 months, Obama and his camp claimed that they created 5.2 million jobs. If the last 31 months are any indication of the next 31 months, I'm down for that.
Why don't they talk about the jobs that they're sending somewhere else?
You cannot send jobs overseas, have products made, and then bring them back and tell the people that don't have jobs.
Let me pick a period. 1999 to 2009, we've seen a huge increase in outsourced jobs. Just in 2011 alone, we've seen 2,273,392 jobs. In 2011 alone. Outsourced. If this trend continues, who knows where we'll be in our economy. We've seen cuts due to federal and state budget cuts directly affecting our unemployment rate. We're talking teachers, firefighters, police, postal workers.
Can you imagine what the cuts now that are happening? What's going to happen later on?
Congress has to decide on the next federal budget and what cuts will be taken. They say that they'll cut about 10% of the budget, which I hear will affect 52% of small businesses. Talking about the service people, the retailers, the wholesalers that provide services and products for these departments that are being shut down or reduced. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a job, you probably still ain't getting enough to get through this recession, unless you're a CEO. From 1978 to 2011, the CEO pay has gone up 725%. And in that same time period, workers rose to 5.7%. CEOs are taking a larger percentage of company gains nowadays. Compensation for workers hardly rose over the last 3 decades, even though worker productivity spiked 93% between that same time period. Also, inflation-adjusted wages for the worker fell in recent years. Why did they do that? It's due in part to avoid paying corporate taxes.
If you're from America and you like it here, why wouldn't you just give a little bit more money in taxes and let everything keep floating?
There are tax deductions that allow companies to write off raises that they pay their CEOs under performance pay.
Let them honkies get their money, and they gonna start investing in shit and spending money.
These 26 companies make over $1 billion a year in pre-tax income. AT&T, Boeing, Citigroup, and probably some oil companies. And yet, on average, they either pay little to no federal taxes and actually get a refund back. They actually get a tax refund of, on average, $163 million that we pay, taxpayers.
I'm telling you, so he's making more money, he's making good money. Do you think he's helping? No, he's cutting employees. He's getting rid of people. He's not employing more people to make more jobs. He's getting rid of people
and that's
he's making more money.
So, yeah, that doesn't sound right. And that's the economy in a nutshell.